Coming up, Lesotho Tzu Chi volunteers held a rice distribution to help some 1,000 residents. And we take a look at the workplace discrimination issue in Taiwan over the past 5 years. Welcome to Dara Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. It is now winter in the country of Lesotho. In a 2-day distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out 20 tons of rice to some 1,000 residents. Knowing that these bags of love came all the way from Taiwan, local volunteers took the initiative to spread the concept of eating 80% full while helping the poor and hungry with the remaining 20%.
Sawing off the container seal, 20 tons of rice from Taiwan has reached Lesotho.
爱心接力，从台湾来的爱。
As it is now winter in Lesotho, these bags of love came just in time to help over 1,000 people in 3 regions. Volunteers first arrive at a school to distribute rice to impoverished students. They just got back from their vacation. 260 students were selected by the school. They are either orphans or from poor families. The 20-kilogram bag of rice and the bottle of cooking oil will help each student's family in the days ahead. Their teacher Claudia encourages the students to eat 80% full and save the remaining 20% to help others in need.
To help you. But it is not necessary for you to eat too much. Their message this year, they say we need to eat for 80%.
In Manyatseng community, some 300 people were signed up to receive aid. However, close to 400 people showed up. Hence, volunteers encourage community members to extend their love.
So helping them. Next time, we should including them.
The people of Lesotho have a heart of gold, as most were willing to share some of their rice with those who didn't receive any.
You know what is this? Rice from Taiwan.
Although aid supplies may be limited, the love which exists between people here will never run dry.
In El Salvador, in the aftermath of the 7.6 magnitude earthquake in 2001, many houses were either destroyed or damaged, leaving many families homeless. To help, Tzu Chi built Dai First Village and Dai Second Village to house the quake survivors and have continued to tend to the residents' needs till today. On July 28, Tzu Chi volunteers paired up with the local Christian Foundation to hold a joint free clinic, at which many former recipients showed up to help.
Here at the Dai Second Village, Tzu Chi volunteers work with the Christian Foundation in organizing a free clinic for local residents.
Tzu Chi volunteers have done many good deeds, especially in what they have done for the sick and the children here. I hope Tzu Chi volunteers will never forget the people who live in the Dai Second Village.
Following an earthquake in 2001, Tzu Chi helped build the Dai Second Village to house the quake survivors. To tend to the local residents, Tzu Chi volunteers have also periodically organized free clinics. At their most recent clinic, several former disaster survivors volunteered to help out.
In 2001, the earthquake devastated our homes. Thankfully, Tzu Chi was there to help us rebuild. Thank you, God. Thank you, Tzu Chi. Now we have a safe place to call home. Now we can join the volunteers' ranks as well.
Tzu Chi plays an important role in our life. They offered us everything. Now many family enjoys a decent life. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for your continuous help. We will always remember that. That is why we are willing to help out whenever Tzu Chi volunteers need us.
Thanks to the selfless dedication of the medical staff, the free clinic ends on the perfect note as Tzu Chi volunteers hand out bouquets to express their gratitude. The joint free clinic not only gave local residents a chance to receive professional treatment, but also planted more seeds of love here in El Salvador.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi's dental clinics and nursing homes for residents with developmental disabilities are held on a regular basis, thanks to the good work of not only nurses and doctors from Daling Tzu Chi Hospital, but also the technicians who help keep everything running smoothly.
Altogether, 4 people are needed to help clean the teeth of these mentally challenged residents, many of whom are frightened by the procedure. First-time participant Lin Si-ting was also nervous, but carried through thanks to the help from some of the more experienced peers.
The first few times our seniors accompanied us and showed us which machines do what. Sister Lili also instructed us and gave us handouts to consult.
The success of clinics like this depends on those who work behind the scenes, making sure the various machines stay running. Helping to do just that is technician at Daling Tzu Chi Hospital, Lai Jiang-sun, now a familiar face at the clinics.
I'm so lucky to have a chance to help them. We were lucky to be born healthy, and it is important to help those that were born with handicaps or mental disabilities.
Together, doctors and technicians give up their weekends to help, knowing that the greatest beneficiaries are in fact themselves.
Do you know what to do if you experience discrimination in the workplace? According to the Council of Labor Affairs, discrimination against gender, age, and disability account for most of the cases in Taiwan. In our next report, let's meet 2 people from minority groups to see the problems they face when looking for a stable job. 25-year-old Xiao Yi has epilepsy and works as a contract-based employee in the public sector. Due to his illness, he has faced many obstacles in finding this job.
At first, the meeting was alright, but after I told them that I have epilepsy, they turned me down. They told me that if I have a seizure during work, they won't be able to help me. I think I shouldn't be discriminated against because of my illness.
After Xiao Yi filed a complaint with the authorities, the company was asked to pay a fine of $10,000 to $50,000 for discrimination against him.
Some will say that they will have to go back to their company and discuss it with their supervisor. When a person expresses this kind of concern, it is considered as workplace discrimination.
According to a data collected from 2008 to 2012 by the Council of Labor Affairs, gender discrimination in the workplace accounts for more than 55% of the cases, followed by age and disability. Labor Group says this problem is tied to the relocation of businesses overseas.
台湾的这个产业外移是连根拔起，从上中下游整个外移。
Many industries in Taiwan have relocated to other countries, therefore many technical personnel are no longer needed. It means that many experienced workers have been laid off.
Although possessing knowledge and skills, many senior workers cannot find a job. Another minority group in Taiwan that is also having difficulty finding jobs is new immigrants. This is Wu Yuli, who married a Taiwanese 13 years ago. Due to language barriers, Wu has been jobless for most of that time. It wasn't until 3 years ago that she finally found a stable job.
I was on probation for 2 or 3 months, and then I was laid off. I was very depressed when I got fired.
To find a job, Wu Yuli started to learn Chinese. Very soon, her Chinese improved from elementary school to high school level. With hard work, Wu finally found a stable job as a translator. To prevent workplace discrimination, workers should reevaluate their strengths so they can better market themselves in the future. Staying in Taiwan but moving to Pingtung County, we meet Jiang Yuehui, the president of Luo Tengyuan. Luo Tengyuan is an organization that strives to help those with disabilities support themselves by selling handmade calendars. Here's more. Placing together a broken teapot, paper boxes, flowers, and tree branches, in no time a beautiful scene is set up for a calendar shoot. The purpose behind this calendar is to encourage handicapped people to support themselves.
We picked up reeds and tree branches, then placed them alongside a broken guitar. Our students design all the pictures inside the calendars, and all of them are volunteers.
30 years ago, Jiang Yuehui and Christian priests reached out to help those with disabilities in Pingtung County. Years later, Jiang decided to establish Luo Tengyuan, which helps those with disabilities find jobs.
People with disabilities tend to shut themselves off from the outside world. Since most of them are willing to socialize with others, I think it is a pity if we stop helping them. That's why I established Luotengyuan.
I hope one day I can become like Sister Jiang. She told me why not. I will follow in her footsteps, and if she does 100%, then I will do at least 1%.
To better take care of those with disabilities, Jiang Yuehui is determined to overcome all obstacles along the way. With the daycare and regular community events already running, she hopes to inspire more local residents to help handicapped people embrace the world. Over the past 2 days, we have brought you reports on how mercy releases are being handled by religious organizations and what the government is doing to protect the animals. Next, we take a look at the possible future of animal protections, in which religious organizations assist scientists in returning animals back to the wild.
Crawling forward in the sand, this turtle is making his way back to the ocean among the sutra chanting by members of a religious organization. This ceremony is not your typical mercy release, but an example in which religious and animal organizations are working together for the betterment of the environment.
Religious groups went on their own look to work with these professors. Nor would the professors go looking for religious organizations, so it was up to the Forestry Bureau to act as a matchmaker, bringing the two together.
The sea turtle was found injured and sent to National Taiwan Ocean University to be looked after. After the creature fully regained its health, the university returned it to the ocean. The combination of returning animals into the wild and religious mercy release is setting a new model for later practices.
If this new practice spreads within the religious community, then it will have a greater effect on protecting the animals than us just insisting on what to do.
However, a return to nature isn't an option for all animals.
Animals that have healed but have been out of the wild for a long period are not recommended for a return to their natural habitat.
Circling its cage, this tiger is marking its territory. However intimidating it may be, this feline will never see the wild again.
The animals coming to our center is often a result of illegal wildlife trafficking.
Thousands of rescued animals live at the shelter here at the Taipei Zoo. It has long since been at full capacity, as animals that enter the facility hardly leave it. As a solution to the overcrowded public facility, Taiwan's Forestry Bureau is working with the Bliss and Wisdom Culture Foundation to establish the first animal shelter managed by a religious organization.
This is the information I received. As we have limited space, I think it's good that a facility like this will be set up.
In establishing an animal shelter, experts point out private sectors might have funding problems and lack the proper skills to carry out such an operation. But regardless if it's building an animal shelter or assisting in returning animals to the wild, everyone hopes the wall between religion and science can come down in the interest of saving more animals.
In Taiwan, traditional 7th lunar month activities in Taoist temples include providing meat offerings and burning joss paper, but a temple in Taipei Xingyi district is defying the odds. The owner of the temple saw Tzu Chi volunteers in his community practicing nighttime recycling and was so moved by their action that he decided to set up a recycling point in the temple.
Here in Taipei, Taiwan, a local temple becomes a temporary kitchen, as this bunch of volunteers is making lunch for the crew working on the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents performance.
I don't feel the heat as I'm working hard at cooking dishes for so many people.
the owner of this Taoist temple, was moved upon seeing Tzu Chi volunteers in the community practice recycling and provided a place to sort recycling at the temple. With Tzu Chi's influence, the followers of the temple have also stopped using meat offerings and burning joss paper.
The owner of the temple had a kiln in the front, but now it has been removed. The joss paper inventory in the back has also been sent to be recycled. Now the temple is a meat-free premise.
In recognizing Tzu Chi's ideals, this local temple is switching their meat offerings to vegetarian options and spreading the message of vegetarianism and not burning joss papers to others in the community.
Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Zihui and his wife Ling Meisha reside in Vietnam for many years. There they often prepare Taiwanese-style vegetarian meals for their friends at the local Tzu Chi retreat. Now they have returned to Taiwan, where they continue to promote vegetarianism.
Put the noodles here, the vegetables, the sauce comes last.
Platefuls of eye-catching, mouth-watering fruits and vegetables, as well as delicious turmeric noodles and instant rice dishes are a delight for young and old alike.
These noodles are really tasty, and there's the multigrain porridge.
I just had a bowl of Tzu Chi's health noodles, so natural and delicious.
The tables loaded with delectable vegetarian dishes might lead one to believe that they have walked into a fancy vegetarian restaurant. In fact, this is Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Zihui's house in Taichung. When Zhang and his wife Ling Meisha lived in Vietnam, they became skilled at preparing vegetarian cuisine.
In Vietnam, almost all of the vegetarian food is highly processed, but the vegetarian food we cook are all natural. Our friends in Vietnam were surprised that natural flavors could taste so delicious. They really liked our cooking.
These dishes are all made from Tzu Chi's Jingsi product line. We always try the dishes ourselves before we serve them to our neighbors.
Zhang Zihui doesn't only cook at home. Here, he and Tzu Chi volunteer Su Guixiang prepare vegetarian cuisine in her kitchen for the people in her community.
We enjoy introducing our friends and neighbors to delicious vegetarian cuisine. Vegetarian cooking is really simple and it's very healthy.
As the Buddhist auspicious month draws near, the Zhangs continue to share their cooking and promote vegetarianism, introducing even more people to the many benefits of vegetarian cuisine.
When elderly citizens are in need of care, what can we do for them? In our next report, we take a look at an adult daycare, which is much like a children's daycare center, where seniors are well looked after and find delight in each other's company.
The fun family daughter-in-law Song Meiling is a classic mother from the sandwich generation.
We're taking my father-in-law for his rehab first, then taking my mother-in-law to the daycare center. It's quite overwhelming because I have to look after 2 adults and 2 children among other chores.
With household chores weighing down on her and her husband away at work during the day, Song soon discovered
she gets bored. She sleeps a lot during the day and doesn't like to move around.
Here at Darling Tzu Chi Hospital's Adult Daycare Center, Grandma Fan is having the time of her life. Gone are the days of boredom and dullness.
With this kind of interaction, they won't feel alone. Tzu Chi brothers and sisters bring positive encouragement, which makes them feel more optimistic.
This is a place where the elderly can find comfort, and the role of the nursing staff is a lot like a friend and a teacher.
比方说，像这个阿姐今天就请假，她就没有过来。那这个阿嬷因为说家里面说，哎，今天那个什么红牙塞，然后再绕境，所以她阿嬷想在家看热闹，所以家属也帮她请假。
If family members are busy, they can bring their parents here, knowing that they will be well looked after. And at the end of the day, they can go home and enjoy the bliss of family life.
Here, those who need to be taken care of can find a purpose in life, while family members can catch a breather.
I think this daycare center is just like a children's daycare, just that it's for adults.
To spread Dharma and promote Buddhist art, a group of delegates and Dharma masters from the Jingshan Temple and Hangzhou City Buddhist Association from China arrived in Taiwan to visit various religious organizations. On August 5th, they stopped by at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Taipei, where they gained a better understanding of Tzu Chi's work around the globe.
A group of Dharma masters and delegates from China's Hangzhou City Buddhist Association, as well as the Jingshan Temple, arrived at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Taipei's Guandu to learn more about the Buddhist NGO and its work worldwide.
看到这个视频，看到这些节目，而且呢。
We may not feel the difference watching Diet TV's programs for the first time, but after watching it twice, 3 times or more, we will slowly be influenced. To spread Dharma, we need these modern-day technologies.
The foundation staff explains the origins of Tzu Chi through a photo of Master Zhen Yan and Venerable Master Ying Sun. After becoming a monastic practitioner, Master Zhen Yan then went off to establish the Now Tzu Chi Foundation to help the needy around the globe. Through explaining the story behind each poster, visitors learn of the true spirit of Buddhism.
Regardless of rich or poor, wherever help is needed, we will be there to help. Every Tzu Chi volunteer works hard and gives whenever and wherever they can.
Though the trip to Taiwan may be short, these delegates and Dharma masters are inspired to spreading Buddhist philosophy far and wide.
385 Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers have returned to their spiritual homeland in Taiwan's Hualien to take part in a volunteer training seminar. The volunteers hope to gain a deeper understanding of the Buddhist NGO's ideals and work around the globe to help them spread the organization's seeds of love further.
Listening intently and taking notes, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers are back here in Taiwan's Hualien to learn more about the Buddhist NGO's philosophy.
We hope through the Jingsi Dharma lineage to help our volunteers strengthen their beliefs and work hard to become a source of spiritual support back home.
After participating in a July seminar based on Tzu Chi's education mission, Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Huiyi, though came down with the flu, returned home briefly before visiting Taiwan again to take part in another training seminar.
I will go home to share what I have learned. I keep reminding myself to be well-rounded in dealing with others and remember to respect, love, and be thankful.
Every volunteer cherishes the opportunity to learn and through the process also becomes more determined in walking the Tzu Chi path.
In Tzu Chi, coming back here each year makes me feel more insignificant and that I am not learning enough. So that's why I come back to gain more knowledge and experience.
Besides taking the Dharma to heart, Tzu Chi volunteers all vow to practice what they have learned in their daily lives and return home to inspire many others to join their ranks.
We stay in Taiwan at the end of the show. Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the Luzhu Senior High School to educate students the differences between plastic bags. At the end of the event, students will go home with pencil holders made out of recycled materials and the knowledge on sorting different plastic bags. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching My Headlines. Goodbye.